Welcome to the Malliard Report. I'm your host, Jim Malliard. Before the Fast Hour on Paranormal Talk Radio starts, please go over to facebook.com/italkparanormal and give it a like. And leave a message telling me what show you're listening to. I enjoy the fan feedback.
The opinions expressed on the Malliard Report are those of the host and participants and are not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any simulcasting radio network or sponsor. All listeners are advised to make their own decisions.
If you're looking for a radio show where all things paranormal go, well, tune in and be in the know with Jim Malliard as your host. Come and see what lies beneath paranormal activity. The Malliard Report. Yeah, the Malliard Report. Tune in and listen every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, right online. It's the Malliard Report. Yeah, the Malliard Report.
That it is. It's the Malliard Report. It's, I think it's still Tuesday night. I don't know. 9 p.m. Eastern, live, podcast, downloads, anytime, any place around the world, it seems. 104 countries around the world have taken advantage of podcast downloads. So, my guest tonight is Dawn Short, and she's on the line with me. How are you doing tonight, Dawn?
Hey, good. How are you? And happy birthday.
Well, thank you, and I want to thank everybody else that has sent me these birthday wishes. So that was one of the... I told you I had a few things I wanted to say before we got too far gone. So, that's one of them. I want to thank everybody for their tweets and their Facebooks and emails and texts, and just thank everybody for everything they've been shouting out to me. So, 29 people have been asking me that. I'm pretty sure I might have to post a picture of my driver's license to get some people to believe, but whatever. I know, right? I want to also mention my good pal C.L. Parker's book came out today, and I seen that she posted a clip of a Target ad. She was picked up by, I want to say Random House. I hope I'm right by saying that. And her book's out today, so go buy a copy of it. I don't have the title in front of me. But anyways, you can go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble and find it. And C.L. Parker, you can find her there, I'm sure. And I've been posting a lot on my Facebook, and which of course posts on Twitter, about looking for a sponsor and an investor. But I think I'm close to finding one. I thought I was going to have it for tonight, but they told me if I mentioned it tonight, they'd sue me. So, not mentioning any more about that tonight, but it's close. Sounds kind of backwards, a free promo, but when you get to be a business, they want everything crossed and dotted, and I get it. So Dawn, you were in Vegas this weekend.
Absolutely, I was. Oh my goodness, what a blast!
I was going to ask you how it was. So it was. I'm not normally a paraclinic kind of person, so what'd you do? I mean, how?
Well, I was actually one of the celebrity guests there, and Friday night was the meet and greet, and it was actually on the pool deck rooftop of Binion's casino and gambling hall out here, and Sci-Fi Channel was out there filming for a show called Skin, and that was just really awesome to see. We got to hang out with the cast and get some pictures taken and just have some fun with those guys. And gosh, what else? I got to meet some people that a few that I've interviewed years ago or even last year that I never got to meet, and just made some new friends, and it was just oh my gosh, the Purdy family just do an outstanding job, and Binion's just made it so wonderful. From the setup of the tables to how the lectures were done, just every aspect of it was just amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I know. Well, Western Pennsylvania, I kind of live in this vacuum because there's events all up and down the Eastern Seaboard, but none within my range, so to speak. While we were talking, I have young children at home, so there's pressing issues more than running off the Paracon. So, but I put one together. It was a small one, but it was kind of fun to get people together and talk and hope they don't kill each other because of all the drama.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that can be an issue, but I didn't run into any drama of any kind. Everybody was so happy and having a blast, and I've only been to one other a couple times, and it was Keith Aegis Mid-South. So going to this one, I was super excited for a couple of reasons. I'd never been to this one. It was local, and it was all people that I hadn't met before. So it was just amazing. I was invited back next year, so I'm not going to be missing it again. And just looking forward to doing some others. And that's exactly the reason why I love doing it so much. It's actually getting to interact with friends and making new friends. And it's just a camaraderie that's so cool, people with similar interests. And it's just a great way to bond and reconnect with people.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can connect with friends and talk like we are in the chat room and all this other fun stuff, so it's good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so where do you want to... Well, let's talk... I have Beyond Expo listed here on my notes, and that's in October. You'll be appearing there. I didn't write the dates down. I'm a horrible person about that.
No, no, don't worry. There's some changes going on with that one, and I don't know enough to give that information out just yet, but I'll post about it on Facebook and Twitter as soon as I find out. So.
And well, since you're mentioning it, Facebook and Twitter, well, how can people find you?
Best way to find me on Twitter. My Twitter is, let's see, it's my first name, DAWN, _short. And let's see what else. Facebook, the best way is, you know the little pages where you click like and you can leave a message on some of them? Mm-hmm. Mine, you can most definitely leave a message for. People like to talk to me about some sensitive situations that are private, ask for readings or whatever. That's Dawn Short, and you'll see the little drop-down thing pop up / Soul Warriors, and you'll find that there too. So.
That's cool. I'll try to remember those. Somebody should probably get those for me. Notice how I push that off on other people? Isn't that great? I've got your website open, though, which is supernaturalwhisperswithdawn.weebly.com, which will also be here. I'll post that in the chat rooms as well.
Okay.
So I think that's probably the best way to do that.
I might be able to copy and paste.
I got it.
Oh.
I have it open.
You're good.
I have it open. That's the good thing.
Okay. Here's my other one. Oh, it worked. Yay.
Yep. Yeah, I don't
There's
have
my other one.
I don't have rules in I talk paranormal chat room there because anyways, that's just personal preference, I guess. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. So we're gonna skim across a lot of topics tonight because again, I bring people on that do more than one thing and are well-rounded and have different interests. And, well, they're all kinds of paranormal interests, I guess we're gonna be talking about tonight. But So the first thing I have wrote down, well, not the first thing I have wrote down here because your name's the first thing I have wrote down here, so moment of truth there. I have Paranormal Clergy wrote down, and well, go ahead and tell us a little bit about that. I know a little bit more about that than probably most of our listeners do, but go ahead and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, it was just a couple of months ago where Bishop Long had announced that I was the newest and also the only female member of the Paranormal Clergy. It's Bishop James Long is the founder. There's two church fathers, Willie Woodwalker Gibson, who is the other shaman, as well as myself. Willie's also one of my best friends in the whole world, and he's also my mentor. I am his legacy shaman. And then there's a spiritual elder and a pastor who is on the team. And, of course, most of you that have heard of it know the administrators who are Richard Valdez and Kat Lang. And I just stopped my entire day when he made that announcement because things like this will just, it's such a great honor to me, and it just completely, for lack of better words, blew my mind for something like this to happen to me. And I'm just very, very blessed to be a part of such a beautiful organization.
Yeah, and like I said, my group was part of the clergy for a while, and then we had some inner discussions amongst some members, and we've decided to part ways with it. Nothing nothing the organization had done, just how my team felt our agenda was crashing with that agenda. So
right.
So
Those things happen.
Yeah, and I get it, and wasn't obviously my decision. So but not always my decision when it comes to a team thing. So which is fine.
Right.
And me and Bishop Long used to host a show on the same network together. So actually,
very cool.
when I started hosting, he was one of the first people to encourage me to keep doing it and give me words and different things, and which culminated in a show one night where he pulled me off air because my show sucked so bad. So, yeah. But hey, if he wouldn't have done it, I wouldn't have realized how bad my sound quality was, and how bad my producing skills were.
We all have those sound issues.
Yeah, so it was.
We all do. So
that was kind of one of those breaking moments. It could have went one way or the other, and I kept at it, and so we're here today. So, but not mad about it. I was mad about it then for about an hour or so, but then I realized. But then I listened to the recording, and once you actually sit down, and that was kind of ugly.
Yeah,
couldn't fight it anymore. But yeah, so
I understand.
So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for everything he did, and I'm glad that he's off doing his own thing now, because I think that's more where he needed to be. So, but
yeah.
So you used to produce a show called UFO, right? UFO Radio.
It was.
Is that what that's called?
UFO Talk.
Okay. See,
yeah.
So difficult. So difficult of a name to.
I even forgot for a second there. So I have one I call one of my senior moments. But that was a few years ago when I my first talk show. I was asked to do my own talk show, which kind of blew my mind, but it was called PM Lights, and I hosted and produced that by myself. I did a music show, and then this show called UFO Talk came along, and they needed a producer, and I was fascinated anyway. So I agreed to produce them, and it was actually 2 retired police officers who had a lot of information and experiences to share, and they had some outstanding guests throughout that time. So that was actually the first show that was on my own that I helped in producing, and I loved that. I loved that very much. Great guys.
Yeah, we were chatting about this afternoon, and I said I couldn't shut up long enough to produce a show, so. I'd be like the constant caller, letting myself on air.
That's hilarious.
But I want to mention that because I know you're not doing any shows right now, so I'm sure some of your listeners are wondering how you're doing and all that fun stuff. So I figured I was glad to bring you on and get you back into the swing of things, if only for a night.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I just I got to be honest, it lost its fun. I do a music show, and the name of it's created out of an inside joke, something that Willie Gibson and a former co-host and one of my good buddies, he's known as Old Hip at Pararock TV, Michael Johnson. They both joke and call me Paranormal Diva, and it's funny if you know me because it's the farthest thing from the truth. That's why it's so hilarious. So, they asked me to consider doing a music show again. I thought, you know what, I'm doing it. It's fun. I'm not doing it right now, just taking a little bit of a break from it, just for the simple reason that I needed to take a little bit of a break, nothing more. And that's the name of it, Paranormal Divas Nightclub. And it'll be on Pararock TV. I'm not sure when yet. They're working on just a music side of it rather than the TV aspect, and Uber City Radio. So that I do. Other than that, I'm booking all the way into January, actually, right now as a guest on other people's shows, either by myself or together with Willie. So I'm still on air. It's just that I'm on everybody else's shows, it's fun for me. I'm actually having the time of my life doing it, being on the other side.
Yeah,
So.
I've done a few interviews, and I've killed a few shows, too, by the way. So I don't know if you want to invite me on your show or not.
Not
but
true.
It is true.
Sure that's not true.
I was a guest on a show, and 10 minutes after the show,
right.
there was a post on Facebook. They canceled their show, and they were doing no more. And the next interview I did, which was a week later, the two co-hosts got in a fight before the show and canceled the show and haven't done another one since.
I'm sure that has nothing to do with you.
I know. I'm sure it doesn't either, but it just sounds good, though. It's a good way to scare some weak hosts off, when they're trying to book you. I'm the show killer.
That's funny.
Just for the record, I mean, I've done many since, but I just had to mention that, so.
I love it. Oh, my goodness.
So, I guess I got two more things here that I wanted to skim across, and then we'll probably talk some, I don't want to say intimate paranormal stuff, but we can delve more into the paranormal, of course. Seeing how that's
sure.
I don't want to say one of your passions in life. I don't want to say your passion in life, because that's just not true. But the Spiritual Warrior's Tombstone Diaries, I hear that's coming out soon.
Oh, finally. Yeah.
Finally.
Well, it's been a special project that started out with in the heart of Willie Windwalker Gibson, who is the founder of Soul Warriors Supernatural Team. And it's myself and Bishop James Long, Brian McAuliffe, and Kat Lang is our newest member of Soul Warriors. And this was made, however, before Kat Lang was made a member, unfortunately. But Bishop James Long had a passion to put something like this together. So it just completely, it fell together in the most perfect way. What Willie had imagined, what Bishop had in mind, it was the perfect setup. And it will be available for the first time, actually, at Scarefest. If you guys visit Willie Windwalker Gibson's table there, it'll be available, if I remember right, it's going to be $10. And that's how it'll be seen for the first time. Aside from that, just to give you a little insight on it, well, not me personally, my entire team is based out in Kentucky. I am out here on the West Coast.
I was going to say, you don't sound Kentuckian. Pardon me.
No, although I love it out there. I can't handle the humidity, but I do love it out there very much. Very, very happy when I go out there. It's just a beautiful place, beautiful people. Can't say enough good about it. Most of my friends are out that way, too. But they had told me where they were going to go, and, of course, they know me. That I want to know nothing else about it. So they went, and they told me that they had already gone. They went during the day, which was key. That's what we wanted to do. And so I did my part by remote viewing and sent Willie what I was given regarding the investigation. And I taped it on my webcam and sent that over, and the results of everything is what you will see on Tombstone Diaries.
Sounds like an interesting project. Kept you busy for a while, I'm sure. I'm sure it kept somebody else busy editing and trying to put it all together.
Yeah. But he did an excellent job. He really did. So it's something I've ever done before, and it's certainly something that I'm very proud of that everybody participated in, did an amazing job. So it's just something cool that I have out there, and who knows what'll come up next, but just very proud of us as a team of what we accomplished.
That's the important thing. I think people often overlook the team aspect of the paranormal. It's not always about the type A personalities. I mean, there's enough of them to... I don't know. I was going to go very vulgar with it, but I figured there's enough of them to fill the ocean. There we go.
No, Willie and I and his wife Shaman are we're family. We talk to each other every week, sometimes a couple times a week, and of course Bishop, I can't say enough good about that man. I just adore him with all my heart. And Brian and I have been friends for quite a while, and love Ms. Cat Lang so much. So it's just a bond that it makes sense for us to be together. It just really does.
When you find the right group of people, you know it.
Exactly.
I don't want to say synergy, but I guess I can't think of another word. So I don't know why.
He really did well. He did very well in his selections. I mean, that sounds wrong because he chose me, but everybody else. What I'm saying. He did so well. I love everybody else that he's chosen. So.
Well, you can say he did well by picking you. I'll give him that.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. I appreciate that very much.
And if you don't recognize the voice on the other end of the line, it's Dawn Short, and this is the Malliard Report. Okay, there I said it.
Yay!
It was kind of like I thought, because sometimes you think there's more that needs to come out during that. No, that's all I'm saying right now.
There you go.
So the last serious topic I have wrote down here. Well, not the other stuff isn't serious, but anyways, I have wrote down Bell's Free Magazine because I'm one of the newest columnists there, and I heard that you were a columnist there too.
I was doing a column there for a little while, and then I had to stop. There's a family situation, and I was needing the help, and of course, you drop everything, you know, to do that. So that's what I had to do. I need to go back and talk to Belle a little bit more. I never went back to it, and she knows. She was aware.
Yeah, she told me.
She's not a columnist there right now, but I look forward to going back as soon as I can clear up some more of my time. I'm just one thing right after another right now, and I do love it. I'm very, very happy with being this busy. It's just I don't have the time to properly dedicate to a monthly article, and that wouldn't be fair to her. And I have to honor that friendship, so.
Yeah, and I know. I was just picking on you because I knew what you were going to say before you said it. That's why you kind of threw it out there. And plus, I said I'd promote the magazine once in a while on the show, so check. 2 birds with 1 stone.
It's outstanding. I love this magazine. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, my first column is supposed to be in there in September, so we'll see. Make sure I kind of...
Great.
It's different because I didn't write a full-length anything. I did an interview with an investigator, kind of... I think it was 5 questions, kind of a little twist, because it's not to say some people are wordy in there, but some people are.
But you know what? That's the coolest thing. Do your thing, stay true to yourself, and do it how you want it, no matter how long or how short. So I think that's awesome. I can't wait to read it.
There you go. So, okay. That was the Sherry there, who hosts a great show. I was listening to it last night. She was asking, when was the first time you realized you had your gift? That's where we were headed. So we'll just make this smooth transition there before the question disappears and I forget.
Absolutely. Well, it was later on in life, but it was a memory from when I was younger. I was communicating, and my parents mistook it for me. A spirit had left, and I was crying because they were gone. And they thought at the time I was one of those little girls. I always slept with a certain amount of stuffed animals on my bed. And I've always loved I loved animals dearly, but I guess at that time, and again, I don't remember what it looked like, but it was a stuffed frog. And they thought that I had lost my frog, that the frog was gone, and they found the frog and they gave it back. And I'm sure I tried to explain somehow, but again, I don't have the complete memory of it because it was that long ago. And the only thing I remember was, no, that was not what it was. That's not who I saw, and they didn't see who else was with them, and that stuck with me. But something in me just decided to drop that. because I could see the look on their face, and I was sad, and they gave me the, they were good parents, God bless them. They gave me the frog back, and they were trying to comfort me. They knew that's what it was. It's going to be okay. I didn't want to disappoint them, even at that young age, so I just let it go. Anyway, that's my earliest memory.
That's fun. That's what it is. And now we're following up with, do you spiritually travel? Is that astral projection?
It's astral projection. It could be also remote viewing.
Okay.
Which I absolutely I make use of that a lot for investigation purposes with the team. I've had very good, well, the only term I can think of to use, good luck with that. Good success with it and stuff that I've presented to them. I've also used it for like silly things, like my sister couldn't find something in her home one time, and I'm like, okay, hang on a second. She had no idea what I was doing, and then I told her where it was, and she went and found it. I also was able to help someone. This is one of the stories that really stands out in my mind. A family member had passed away, and she was elderly and not able to, unfortunately, keep forth her house very well. So that was a situation. They couldn't find certain paperwork that they absolutely needed, and I was able to guide them in the house that I had never been to where they would find it. So,
wow.
I mean, when you do stuff like that, I don't know for anybody else who does it, but when I hear of them go, oh, that worked. That you were right. I want to say, shut up, really? It's still, I'll never get used to that. It blows my mind. Yeah.
Just for a moment of clarification, do you call yourself a medium, psychic?
I don't use the term psychic, and I'll explain my personal reason.
Go ahead. That's great. That's what's going to be the next question anyways. You must be a radio show host or something.
Actually, I've been asked that a lot lately, why I don't use the term psychic. It has not been a happy thing for me personally. Throughout my whole life, it's been things that have been, the big things like seeing that someone was going to pass away, all the way to little things where, I completely ruined my own Christmas present because I knew I was about to open, stuff like that. So, and then, as you grow up and you don't know any better and you don't know what all is going on with you, there were often times that I thought that these things that I were seeing psychically that were my fault. If I hadn't thought that, it might not have happened. And, I know better today, but still to this day, it's not something that I really pay attention to. I'll listen to those thoughts and those visions and things, but I focus more on the mediumship aspect of it just because it's just a personal preference after all I've been through my entire life.
Makes sense to me. I mean, it's all what you believe and feel. And
yeah. Well, the worst thing, and I'll give you the very, very short version of it, I had moved, my parents had to move out of state, just one state away, and they were both older. They had my sister and I very late in life, and my dad had to be put in a home, and he had broken his hip, but his dementia was progressing, and they had to move out of state, and I went to go see them. My daughter was very little, so we took the train out there and we went to see them. A month prior to going to see them, I had one of my visions that I hoped and prayed was just a bad dream. However, when I got there, not long after that, the whole thing played out. I had a vision of sights, the surrounding smells, the sounds, and everything of the day, and how my father would look, how he passed. Yeah. I took the trip there, and we went to see him. I had to hand my baby over to, it was either my mother or father, or my mother or sister, excuse me, whoever it was, and I had to leave the room because there was my vision completely unfolding in front of me, and I just completely fell apart. And I came back and I apologized to him. I just said I was emotional about seeing him. There's no way I could have told them what was going on with me. And then, we spent time with him. It was wonderful, just absolutely amazing. He was able to recognize, who I was, and he held my daughter, and he was able to say, take the baby when he got tired. And we went home, back to my sister's home where I was staying, and then the next day we had gotten a phone call, and we were going to go back and see him anyway. However, they had taken him to the hospital. He was having some issues, and so we went there, and we lost him that day.
That's just...
And I'm sorry about... I apologize for just spitting it out like that, but I have to because sometimes I never know when I'm going to lose it when I tell that story. But that's one of the main reasons why I don't really use the word psychic. I just don't. Well, it hasn't been a real positive thing in my life.
No, having heard the story, it makes perfect sense, and I'm sorry about that. I mean.
Oh, thank you.
So,
however, telling it, I feel that I do need to tell it once in a while, only because I know that there's other people out there who do have these gifts, who do suffer through them sometimes, and I want them to know that they're not alone.
Yeah, and it's tough for people. I've talked to a few people that try to, I'm trying to think of the right word, hide it, I guess, just going,
right.
Or try to avoid it, but it just seems to come on more and more as they try to push it further and further away. So I've heard a number of stories from people that are telling it just like you are tonight. So, okay.
But
clear the mechanism.
I know better now. I know that my vision didn't cause it. It's just the things that go through your mind when you're going through those things in real time. It's just, it would mess with you, and it messes with you for a long time. So,
yeah.
But there was many years ago. Bless his heart, he's been gone for a while now, and my daughter was. She was just barely starting to walk, and she'll be 22 next year, so long time.
Yeah. So let's transition more into something, well, a little bit better maybe. What are the lottery numbers again? Oh, no.
You think I'd be sitting here? I would have won it a long time ago.
I know. One of these days, some people tell me I might pull the winning lottery number, and I said if I do, you probably will be tired of hearing my voice because I'll be able to do this a lot more. So, but some people think that'd be great, and I'm just thinking you say that now until you get 7 or 8 hours of me a day.
Oh my goodness. I get tired of my own voice, and I'm not going to lie. I talk to myself all doggone day long, but I've got dogs here, so I just blow it off as, I'm talking to the dogs, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, some people think that, I've got I better be careful how I word this because I've got an invitation or a request from a pet psychic.
Oh.
So I guess I got to have to be careful how I word, talk these things through. And I also had a guy on a few weeks ago who was telling me that he gets EVPs from animals. So.
Wow.
It's
very
interesting.
Cool.
Interesting. It's amazing how the spirit works. There we go.
I agree. Completely agree. Fascinating.
So, where did I have it? Got all these organizations, not my strong point tonight, apparently. I've got your tab open here, and you do readings for people. And do you want to tell us a little bit more about that process while I'm thinking about that?
Sure. Yeah. I started out with tarot cards and some oracle cards, and the more that I got to work with Willie, the more I was, do you find with them but I just feel like there's more. And so I decided to get myself some animal totem cards. And, oh, my goodness, it just instant connection with these cards. And I love them. I love them so much. I have 2 decks, but one of them I'm really, really, really super partial to. In fact, that was the deck that I took with me to the Las Vegas Paracon this weekend. And it's funny because the day that I got them, I also got myself a new spirit guide. So I got a 2-for kind of situation. And it just for people that don't know the difference, because I'm always asked this next, if what the difference is. The oracle cards and the tarot cards are more human, spirit-based. Animal totem cards are just that. They are animal spirit-based. Animal totems interact with, each card has a different animal, and each animal can bring forth a new meaning. It might have nothing to do with on that card specifically, but it will let me know. To give you an example, I was looking at this one particular card over the weekend, and it's an animal, but it was letting me know there was an issue with someone's vehicle. Got nothing to do with the animal, but I was able to connect and just instantly. And there's like, oh my God, yes, it's a real thorn in our side. And so they started the conversation going, and again, no rhyme or reason. It's just that particular tool of mine is what I connect with the best, and I'm able to help people with the best.
Yeah, so you're speaking of animal totems, and I had a guest on, but off air, he told me that the duck wasn't my animal totem, and I said, I got to do what I got to do, though.
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of people think that they have one specific animal totem, and that's certainly not the case. You can have an animal totem that's based on your birth month and day. You can have an animal totem that's completely related to something else in your life. It could be an animal that you've loved your entire life. It could be an animal that's somehow repeated in things that you say and do, or just life experiences. You know, you have always passed a horse on the way there, and you're fascinated. Always wanted to ride a horse, never had a chance to, don't really think about it very often. That could be it, or one of them, I should say. So there's all different ways that these animal totems can become a part of your life. Some people aren't even aware that they have one. One lady that interviewed me at this Paracon this weekend, it was a couple. They're from a network based in Utah, in fact. And she asked me, and there's a beautiful horse behind her. And I let her know about that and what that represented specifically for her. And once I told her, she started telling me how all that made sense and why. So there's no rhyme or reason. It's just specific to each individual. It's not cut and dry as to this is yours, this is yours, and this is yours.
I have a question from the other network now, ParamaniaRadio.com. Great site, great people. Just throwing it out there. Shameless tonight, I guess. Guess it is my birthday. I can be a little shameless at once in a while.
There you go. Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can.
What's the best cards to start with for somebody that hasn't had a deck before? I'm kind of paraphrasing the question there, but
okay.
It's the same question.
First, I would look them all up and read a little bit about them. If you can't get out to actually go, my best suggestion, if it's at all possible, is to go to one of the stores that carries as many different choices as possible, and just go look at them. Put your hands over them, much like you would go to pick out rose quartz or something like that. And it sounds wacky, but this is the God's honest truth, or whoever, higher power, whatever you just, it chooses you. plain and simple. It will choose
I've
you.
had that experience not with
No.
cards because I don't read cards, but with some other items that I was kind of conflicted about. And then I seen, there was a little something kind of caught my, just how something was worded, or
right.
Even the numbers. You're gonna love this one. The numbers on the barcode. I looked at the back of the numbers of on the barcode, and my favorite number was in one. It wasn't the other. I'm like, this must be the one over the other one. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny the things that catch our eyes, but you know in your gut that that's right for you, and it's all individual. But they will pick you. You'll know it. You'll know when it's right, and you might have a doubt. Get both of them just to be safe. Go with both of them. Read with both of them, and just take your time. You'll know in time which one is that specific one. Another thing that I do like to tell people, everybody uses their cards differently face-to-face with others. I'm a little bit particular. I don't care for others to touch my cards because I work very hard to put my intention on my personal tools. Now, there are some cases where I really do need to interact with these people, especially this weekend. There are a couple of people that I wanted them to look at these cards straight on, not for me holding them, but I wanted them to see because the meaning was so intense and so specific to the cards, not vague at all. And when I put them down in front of them, they did hold them. But then again, I picked them up when I was done, and I redid everything, reshuffled them, redid my energy, et cetera, and then I would start over for another read. So just make sure that you do that. Make sure that if someone else does come in contact with it, do whatever you would do to, cleanse them or readjust and put your energy and your intent back on them. That's very important.
And I'll take that a step further, being the wacko paranormal guy. It's true if you're a claimant too. You got to be careful who you let hold your dowsing rods, even your recorder, folks. Got to keep that in mind.
Any tools.
Anything. It's just not a voice recorder. If you're trying, it's all. Soapbox, please. It's a moment of. It's about the spirit. It's not about the EVPs. It's not about the number of investigation. It's about the spirit.
Thank you.
Kick the soapbox away before I take up the rest of the show. I'm sure most of my listeners have heard most or parts of that rant before, so if not, it's around. Just go dig it up. Any other things people should know about reading cards? Because that's also foreign to me. I guess I don't even know a smart question to follow up with. But it's a personal preference. Not that it's a good or a bad thing. For me personally, when I was learning my tarot deck and my oracle deck, it's just my preference. Some people do it the opposite way. I took the instruction books, with all due respect to the people that put hard work into writing those things, left it in the box, and it stayed there. I paid no attention to it. I went with what those cards gave me and what those cards gave me alone. To this day, I've never read the books. And that's how I do it. Some prefer to go along with what each specific meaning is for the cards, and it works well for them. And I can't stress, it's just how Spirit works with you with your tools. No rhyme or reason, so it's all individual. If you decide that you're going to use those cards and you don't want to use the instructions, go for it. It's not what you're meant to do. If you want to, by all means, sit down and read them and work with them and memorize that. Nothing wrong with it. And I don't like when people say, no, this is how you have to do that. Really? And then my next question is, why is that when it works for me and others the opposite way? You have to individualize it for yourself. That's the only way to do it. Yeah, I think that's true with anything. As long as you can get a result.
Right.
I guess there's some things.
It's like telling somebody you're hugging wrong. really? You're expressing, some sort of help and care for somebody else, and I'm doing it. Okay, I'm just a weird example, but
no, but there is a bad hug. Of course, there's a really awkward hug too. But
well,
anyways.
those awkward ones. But you know what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I'll try to fish you out of this. When at least I didn't say the plane has sailed on that one. So I said that a few weeks ago, and I tell you, I had 4 people tweet that to me as soon as I said it. It was kind of awkward.
That's hilarious.
But there, I said it again. I'm sure I'll get it one more time tonight. It's gonna
probably.
Be probably at some point there's probably going to be a T-shirt with that on it. I'll probably have to wear it.
I want pictures.
Just saying. So. No, I forgot. Oh, I was going to say, now I forgot the serious question I was going to ask you. When you're actually out in the field investigating, do you prefer to be, how do I say this, hands-free and just walking around, or do you prefer to have a recorder, or... I don't take anything with me typically, other than I might take my crystal. I have my shaman's talisman that Willie gave me initially before. Actually, he gave it to me the day he approached me to be his journey or legacy shaman, to go on that journey with him. Just little, I guess what some would call little token things that I'll take with me, but I don't take anything else. I don't take typically my dowsing rods very often, nothing, just a little, a few things in a pouch, and that's really all I take. If I need more, I'll go get them, but typically, no, nothing. That's fair enough, of course. Of course, I'm the investigator. I'm not a medium, so, we have, obviously, I have different answers to that question.
Oh, sure.
My follow-up, kind of a follow-up question to that is are we becoming too plugged in? I know this may sound more of a spiritual question than a scientific question, but guess what? It is what it is. Is the paranormal investigator, researcher, whatever title you want to put on it, becoming too plugged into things and not paying attention to their actual senses, even though I know senses are harder to prove, but at some level you have to pay attention to them. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I do like that there's new things being worked on to put together to get the proof, like better quality EVPs, et cetera, But I do want to encourage people that have these fantastic tools to put them down every once in a while and just sit there and just let things happen. Just stop and think. Take notes even. Just see what gut feeling do you have at that moment, and go with it and write that down. And give yourself maybe 5 minutes one time, maybe later on give yourself 10 minutes, and do that in between. And then go back to your tools and go from the notes. You might be shocked to get a name that pops into your head. And you might wind up connecting with that individual. You just never know. I think if more investigators that don't think that they have any kind of gift of any sort would try that once in a while, they might be stunned.
I totally agree with you. I find myself, I know I've personally had more experiences when I wasn't investigating by, I'm holding my notebook up like I'm doing video. That's awesome. No, the personal experiences on investigation are slim to few, and the other ones I could go on for an hour about, at least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so. Oh, okay. And since I've been mentioning all my platforms, I'll mention Raz Radio Live, who, as I've been joking all week on Twitter, is the station that has hosts that'll piss you off, and if they don't, tell them, and then they will. They're an alternative news talk kind of network. So I'm the paranormal guy, more than one way, because they all host multiple hour shows and take calls every week and all this other stuff. But I'm the guy that does 1 hour. I'm the only guy that has one screen when I'm broadcasting, too. Some of these guys have 4 or 5 screens. I get dizzy looking at the pictures they send me. This is all you need to set up. I'm like, I'd be seasick trying to watch all that. But So.
Oh, I know.
There's my final shout-out for tonight, so. I'm sure they appreciate all that. Me calling them anger mongers, I'm sure they appreciate that. But it is what it is. Okay, so not to put you on any type of spot, so if you're not comfortable, let me know. But I've had the question thrown in the chat room. I was kind of waiting until we were kind of close to the end because I didn't want to take too much of your time. I know that doing readings for people is kind of a task that is kind of difficult, so, or at least I've heard that enough from enough people that I've just assumed that it's difficult for everybody. So.
It can be, yeah. In fact, I was the table was so busy, and I was having such a great time reading after reading after reading, especially Saturday. And my sister lives closer to that area. She has never gotten to go with me to do any of this stuff. So she was at my table with me all weekend, and the meet and greet, my husband went with me. So it was awesome that I was able to include family in something like this finally. We left and got back to her house, and it wasn't even dark, maybe an hour. And I was a babbling idiot. My energy was so drained. She was trying to talk to me. We were going to get changed, and we were both going to sleep on the sofas, a couple different sofas. She was, do you want to watch something on TV? I'm like, I don't know. It was gone. I was worthless, absolutely worthless that night. And for a couple days after, it's Tuesday?
Yes, it's Tuesday.
I was toast yesterday. I'm just starting to get back some more energy. People don't realize how physically draining doing something like that is. One right after another. It's just pulled. I mean, I had a great time interacting with people. I really did. There's a difference between doing readings on, Skype or email and doing them in person. The energy level is a lot different.
Which do you prefer? I mean, obviously, I'm just going to assume you prefer being in person, but
I do. Oh, by far.
Okay.
The one reason is the looks on their face when I mention something. They're like, oh, or when I'm pulling out a card that has nothing whatsoever to do with what I'm about to say, and I bring these things up. They're looking at me like I'm either nuts or that they just don't know what to say. And I have to remain very compassionate about that, understand how they're feeling, and be very gentle about the next part of the conversation. But I can reach out to them and let them know, it's okay. I can put my hand on their arm and go, just that little touch to reassure them. It's okay. Let's move forward. This is why you asked me to do this, and if you don't want to go any further, that's okay. Doing it via email or not in person, I can't see their face and see if there's pain in their eyes all of a sudden. I can't reassure them physically. They can't see my face, so they can't see that I'm concerned about what's about to be said, or that I truly do have the compassion for the loved one that's crossed. So absolutely, I prefer face-to-face by far.
So I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll bring you back on sometime down the road. I would say soon, but I know I'm booked until January-ish. So I would.
That's no problem. I'm just
we'll do
for next year too. So.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll have other stuff we need to talk about, and then we'll do more of the. We'll take a few calls and have some fun with it. But I just want to kind of throw it out there for people, and then they can go check you out, obviously. And but what I was going to ask is, well, I'm assuming that you prefer Skype over email because then you can hear the person.
Conversation's better, absolutely.
I guess my actual question in that is, how tough is it to do an email reading for somebody? I know how I send emails.
It can be really tricky because sometimes, bless their hearts, some people like to give me basically a short book to read. If I, say you can either have a specific question or just don't tell me too much, please. Just the question without much detail. If you can do it without giving a name, that would be also great. Not their name, of course, but the name of the loved one. And if it's just a general, just let me know. By all means, if they happen to have a question later on, that's fine too. It's not all cut and dry. But it's difficult. I have to go by what the cards let me know alone. I can't get a feel for if, let me think, if I'm headed on the right path for sure, which you should know in your heart that you are, but it's just more simple. If you can hear them take that sigh of relief once you've said, yes, this individual is with you and this is the message they have to pass on, or if I'm giving them a confirmation of something that they've asked for and more information as well, or if it's even like a validation, like I love off-the-wall validations. It could be something as simple as one of them I remember was just a little boy, and he was in probably his 50s. I had a serious issue for years with the inability to tie his shoes. And that's what I gave him. His dad wanted to know if his dad was ever around him, and that's what I was given. What was the issue with tying your shoes? And he just sat there, and it was on Facebook, actually, in a message, and I got nothing. And I said, did I lose you? He goes, no, that's my dad. There's no way nobody knew that. Everybody else that knew that is gone now. So
that's incredible. So getting down to a minute. Well, I have a minute left because I have to play the outro. Obviously, I told Jess how that works. Yeah, obviously how that works. So
I do.
I'm going to put your Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff in the post-show blog. So I just want to give you an opportunity to say your last piece, and I hope you'll hang out with me past the intro and we'll talk off air for a few seconds.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, first, before anything else, Jim, thank you so much for having me on with you. And all your listeners are outstanding, amazing guys. I love you. Thank you for being here and listening to me babble, because I really appreciate it. And I do love you guys so much, so much. And I'm just looking forward to coming back with you sometime and hanging out with everybody.
Well, like I said, it's just a matter of time. I mean, it's difficult.
Yeah.
People have been begging for more, but it just isn't in the cards right today. But who knows how tomorrow will go? So we'll see.
Never know. Absolutely.
That's a funny pun. I just caught it myself. That was good. But on that note, again, I want to thank everybody for their birthday wishes and all that fun stuff. Until next week, keep quacking. There, I finally got a sign-off line I like. Okay.
Before we flip that on-air sign to the off position, a quick reminder. For all things about the report, previews, and reviews, go to italkparanormal.com.
This is Thomas P. Fusco, author of the book Behind the Cosmic Veil, A New Vision of Reality, and originator of the theory of supergeometry. And you are listening to the Malliard Report.
Hi, this is Dave Roundtree, author of Paranormal Technology, Understanding the Science of Ghost Hunting, lecturer, author, and paranormal researcher. And when you're not busy in the field, do what I do and listen to the Malliard Report with Jim Malliard.
If you're looking for a radio show where all things paranormal go,